you can see okay here. Make sure I move my camera a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to go through all the paperwork I got on the Roadrunner. And there's a lot. First of all, I'll go through what I got found in the glove box of the car. I got an owner's manual. That says Satellite, which is the same as a Roadrunner. I don't know if they made a different one that said Roadrunner on it, but that's what was in the car when I bought it. So it's got an owner's manual with it, okay? That's the original owner's manual. This is a receipt for the voltage regulator. Again, I showed you on the firewall. I replaced that. So again, it's probably got a lifetime warranty. Hang on to that receipt if you buy the car. That's just a registration. You don't need that. Here's other receipts. Let's see. This is spark plugs, spark plug wires, wire looms, and carburetor return spring. Bought those from O'Reilly's. Let's see. This is just stuff for polishing it that I bought for working on the paint. This is a little spot mirror I bought to put on a passenger mirror because the mirrors are so small on that thing. The passenger mirror is hard to see it up, so I put a blind spot mirror on the passenger side. What's this? This is I don't know what that's for. All right. I don't know. That's not anything for this car. No, here's the alternator, lifetime warranty on the alternator. So there's a receipt for that. Hang on to that if you buy the car. And here's the owner's manual for the CD player. So it's either one of these three CD players, and if you get online on eBay, they're probably, I would think the faceplate would be interchangeable between all of them. It's probably just got different functions. So get online on eBay, find the faceplate, and your radio will probably work. Okay, so that's what was in the glove box. That's trash. I don't need that. Okay, here's what came with the car. I don't know how well you can see this. It says, look at this true 1973 Roadrunner with a documented original build sheet. It's a solid rust-free Southern car sold by Sid Hayden of Little Rock, Arkansas for $3,950. Has air conditioning, power steering, power disc brakes. Check out the rear bench seat feature, custom exhaust, all the all-time classic Krager SS wheels, and the original Richard Petty blue color. Make it stand out. So it was Richard Petty blue. That's what they're saying. Okay. Open this up. I've got a copy of the title, the Nebraska title from when I bought it. I've got a copy of the title when it was registered in Iowa, because I contacted the state of Iowa, and if you pay them a fee, they'll let you do a title search, and they'll tell you who the owners of the car are, okay? And so I got a copy of the Iowa title, and I also got a copy of the previous owners before me. So let's see. Tony Lee Messima was one owner, and then Brown's Sales and Leasing had the car. Looks like a car lot had the car, and I think there's a sticker on the back of the car, so that's probably true. I don't know if it says. I think it does say Brown's actually. So that's two of the people that were on the title of the car. So at one point it was at a dealership in Iowa, and that dealership may have been the one that sent it to Meekum. I don't know. Anyhow, now this is important right here. This is the emails that I got from a guy named Robert Kinnick in Iowa, and he's the third owner of the car. The original owner, or the first guy that bought it from the original owner in Iowa, he bought it, and I'll just read you what he says here. Let's see. Okay. It says, Dave, I have looked over the pictures of the baby blue Roadrunner, but I have not been able to find anything. The CD I had for the car is corrupt, and I have been unable to recover any of the pictures. From what I remember on the car, I traded it for a low mile 75 Roadrunner that I had put a 440 in of approximately the same condition. When I first got the car, it was extremely original throughout. It had the original plug wires, belts, etc. for the most part. Internally, and I think I mentioned this before to you guys, Maybe I didn't, but this is an important thing to note. The car still had the plastic covers from the dealer on the back seat and the floorboards. So in the back seat of the car, it still had the plastic covering the seat from the dealership and the floorboards. The back seat had never been sat in, and he said it was just, he might have said, said they were completely deteriorated, but they did speak to the originality of the car. So it still had the covers on the back seat from the dealer when he had it, and this is from 2013. I think he got the car, he obtained the car in the early 2000s. Okay, so I was told it was only driven for 2 years and then put in storage because the owner had health issues. It sat there for over 20 years and was sold around 1998 to the guy I got it from. He never drove it. He was unsure what to do with it because it was so original. So the guy that bought it from the original owner didn't even drive it. He just took it home and put it in his garage or his shop, and it just sat there because it was so original he wasn't sure what to do with it. And that was in 1998. So that was 24 years after the car was purchased new. Okay. He was unsure what to do with it because it was so original. I had a 440 Roadrunner he wanted, and I traded him my car for this one. After doing the usual maintenance and updating the consumables, we drove it here and there for a short time. We had a number of 73, 74 Roadrunners at the time, plus several others at the same time. I added the Go Wing, which I told you guys, the Go Wing on the trunk was not original. I added the Go Wing because I simply liked them on the rounded B bodies. I also added hood pins to the car, and they're on it. They're obviously worn out, they look like crap, but again, you get a brand new set with the car. Had the original Magnum 500 wheels on it when I got it, but I changed them to road wheels. I do not recall which were on there when I sold it. Probably it may have been the tires that wheels that are on it now. I don't know. But he took the road wheels and put them on a gold 74 Roadrunner that he liked them better on. So the original Magnum wheels were on he put them on a different car. So it had originally, when he got it, he was the third owner. It had the original Magnum wheels still on it. But he wanted to put them on another Roadrunner he had, so he put probably the Kragers that are on it now. Okay. Body and interior were clean, so all I ever did was detail it. It was a pretty honest old car, not terribly desirable because of the color and drivetrain combination, but a good solid car all in all. Of course, this was, in the early 2000s, it wasn't desirable. I do not recall any obvious issues with it. After selling it, I did not keep track of it. A guy I sold it to was a hot rodder, and I believe he was going to do some restoration and modifications to it and sell it. I did come across it at a Mecum auction in 2012. And again, I told you guys I sold it at a Mecum auction in 2012, okay? So he sold it to a hot rodder, and the hot rodder is a guy that put the paint job on it and took the motor out and detailed it and popped it up, put a new cam in it, and he may have taken the motor apart, put new pistons in it, I don't know, but I know it runs like a scalded cat, so I don't know for sure what he did to it, but it runs great. It's got that cam, the aluminum intake, chrome valve covers, chrome air cleaner, Holley 600 carburetor, that complete pipes dual exhaust system that's really expensive. So that's what he did to it. And he may have put the Kragers on it, I don't know. But anyhow, he was a hot rodder, he may have. And he probably put the air shocks on it because he wanted it jacked up in the back. Okay. I recall having the car in the late 90s. As for miles of the car, I believe them to be original. The car had sat for a long time when I received it. Prior to me, it had been family owned with a car with little activity or miles. It was in a storage garage with years and years of dust sitting on it when I first looked at it. Came from the Dyersville area, if memory serves me. Dyersville is in Iowa. So the guy that bought it from the guy in Little Rock lived in the Dyersville, Iowa area. He bought it, and he didn't even clean the dust off it. He just drove it. He just probably traded it home in an enclosed trailer and sat there with all the dust and dirt still on it. And he says here, depending on how much this car has been driven after me, I would guess to only have 30,000 miles or less, which it does have less, obviously, 24,000, 23,000. I hope this helps you in your quest to recover the history of this car. I hope it has found a good home. If I come across anything on this car, I will certainly share it with you. Okay, so that was in March of 2013. That was right after I bought the car. And then again, in March of 2013, I responded back to him. I said, hey Robert, I appreciate this information from you. It will definitely help with my research on this car. The Roadrunner has 22,000 miles on it now. Do you remember the approximate miles on it when you had on it? I guess this is the email that I sent him first before he responded with the email I just read you. Also, would you happen to have names and or phone numbers of the person you bought it from and sold it to and where they lived? I know you told me the guy that bought it was into hot rods and Chevelles. I was wondering if you could email me any pics you have of the car, if the car is in the background. Also, you'd be willing to send me the corrupt CD. Maybe I can have it looked at by a professional to see if they can recover pictures from it. If I am successful, I could send you back a good CD. I recall you telling me on the phone that the original owner of the car only drove it for a couple of years and parked it because of an illness. It was parked in storage and sat there until the late 90s when the gentleman that you had acquired it from bought it and traded it to you for another Mopar you had for sale. Is this information correct? And of course he did. So I wrote this to him before he responded to me with that email I just read you. So of course it is correct. He verified that. I just want to verify with what you told me on the phone and your email. Thank you so much for your time. If you would be willing to email me the CD, let me know and I'll give you my address. Okay. All right. And then he sent another email to me, and he said, Dave, I do not have the specifics on the miles. Seem to recall somewhere in the upper teens showing on the clock around 18,000 miles. So when he acquired the car in the early 2000s, it only had around 18,000 original miles on it. And again, they had the plastic on the back seat. So, it's a very original car. The information I've given you about the car is correct. I was amazed. It was an amazing find for me, and it sounds like it is an amazing car. I'm glad it is in such nice condition still from what you have told me. Congratulations. Took the CD to a buddy to see if he could recover anything. I have a son graduating this year, so he'll be going through pics over the next several weeks and see if I can find some pics of the car. He did not. Car did come from Dyersville area. I do not remember the man's name. He owned it. He just saw my 75 with the 440 in it and wanted to trade. Okay. So that's what that all says. And then I got this email here. This is, I think, a continuation. This was an email he sent me later on. It said, Dave, I have looked over all the pics of the baby, looked all over for pics of the baby blue Roadrunner, but I have not been able to find anything. The CD for the car is corrupt, and I have been unable to recover any of the pics. From what I remember on the car, I traded it in for a low mile 75 Roadrunner that I put a 440 in of approximately the same condition. When I first got the car, it was extremely original throughout. It had the original plug wires, belts, etc. for the most part. Internally, the car still had the plastic covers on the dealer, on the back seat and floorboards. Although completely deteriorated, they spoke of the originality of the car. This is kind of, I guess he kind of copied and pasted the other email he sent me and then added to it. Excuse me, I gotta go clear my throat here. Okay. So he talks about the first email he sent me, and then let's see. Well, no, this is basically the same email okay. This is the same email that was. It's just another copy of the same email. I thought it was different, but yeah, that's the same email. Okay, so again, when he bought the car, he thought it had around 18,000 miles on it, and that was in the early 2000s. So that's emails I got from him. His name's Robert Kinnick. I was never able to get a hold of any of the other owners of the car. The guy that I was never able to get a hold of the guy that he bought it from or the guy he sold it to. I tried, but I couldn't get a hold of those people. I couldn't get their information. This is, let me look through this real quick. I don't know what this is. That's from American Family. That's insurance stuff. Auto. Let's see. Okay, that's you guys don't need that. That's a purchase contract from when I bought it. Doesn't matter. This is registration. You don't need that. Okay, here's obsolete motor parts. Here's the ignition module and bracket that was in the package out there. I showed you that. I bought that. Here's the receipt for that. And I bought that in, that was put on the car in 2013. So I bought that right after I bought the car. I bought the car, let's see what that contract is. I bought the car January 15th of 2013. So I bought it in January 2013. Okay, here is, here's some information from the, okay, this is what state of Iowa sent me. They sent me a request for motor vehicle records. They sent, I think I ended up getting 2 of these, and I sent one of them back, and that's what they sent me, those papers. So this is an extra one. You know, I'll just put that with all this stuff. It doesn't matter to me. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is kind of cute. I don't know where I got this from. Probably bought it off of eBay. It says the beep beep is back Plymouth. So it shows the Roadrunner, and of course Wile E. Coyote's like his head spinning because he got knocked upside the head. So that's kind of a cool little picture that goes with the car, or decal you can put on the car somewhere if you want. That's kind of cute. I probably got that off eBay, like I said. And then here's some. Oh, okay. This place here in Nevada. They sell headliner material, and I asked them to send me samples of their blue headliner material for Roadrunner. There's 3 samples there, so if you want to get new headliner for it, you can get it from these people. Okay. All right. This is the appraisal that I got for it back in 2013, 10 years ago, and I will tell you. Let's see. Where's it at? I don't know if it says on here. Oh no! Wait a minute. Oh no! This was when I blew out the tire. I had full coverage insurance on it, and I took it to have an estimate done on having the work fixed. And in 2013, it would have cost me $1,223 to have the bumper fixed, or have that little spot fixed on the fender where the tire blew out. So that's just an estimate. I mean, you can have that. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Motown Automotive Design. I'm not sure what's in here. Oh, okay. These are the 318 stickers I told you guys about. So they're in here. So there's 318 stickers. We want to put those on the hood somewhere or something, or under the hood, on the engine, on the air cleaner or whatever. So those are 318 stickers, which, you know, you can use them if you want. You don't want to, you don't have to. You can lie and put 340, 360 stickers on it, whatever you want to do. And here is, okay, this is the Roadrunner that goes, I believe, on the trunk. So that's a new decal for the trunk. Or, yeah, I think so. And, oh, there's another one. So maybe these are for the side of the car. I don't know. But those are decals, Roadrunner decals for the car. If you want to replace the ones that are on there, you can. Those go with the car. What do we got here? Oh, okay. We got 2 more 318 stickers. So I got 2 sets of these. Apparently I forgot I ordered them again and ordered more. Okay, so 318 stickers. All right, so that's that. And this here is a bunch of paperwork. I got a lot of paperwork on this car, so it'll take a while to go through all this. Just not sure what all this is. Oh, this is just stuff I printed off the internet about 73 Roadrunners. Here's a color. Let's see. I'm not sure. I guess this is like a color chart for maybe that year of car, but I don't even see the color of my car in there, so I'm not sure. This may be for something else I own. I don't know, but I don't need it. Yeah, this is just a lot of information about the car. I know the VIN number is stamped on the block on the passenger side, right above the oil pan on the boss, where the oil pan bolts to. And I checked that, and the VIN number does match the car. And on the transmission, I can't remember where it's at. It might be on the bell housing, it might be somewhere else. You Mopar guys know. But I've checked. It probably says it in this paper somewhere. But I did check, and the transmission is the original transmission too. Oh, this is kind of cool. You guys will like this. gas tank cap, not that, but I think these came from the dealership. They were in the car, and they're like well, no, this is for used cars, so I don't know what this is for. Yeah, and there's a 73. These are just like GM, or not GM, Mopar used car. The sticker they would put in the window to sell the car if it was used. Of course, I guess it could be. Well, this says top quality used cars, but I mean they may have put these in the new cars too. Maybe this is what they put in all their cars. I don't know. Here's a satellite brochure that talks about the transmission and engine specifications. That goes with the car, obviously. Okay, what else we got? What else we got? I guess somebody bought a gas cap for it at one point. I don't think it's locking, but I don't know. Maybe they lost the original, or it got broken or something. I don't know. Oh, okay. Clay Smith. Clay Smith is Mr. Horsepower. I couldn't remember. I knew his name was Clay, but I couldn't remember if his first name was Clay or his last name was Clay. So, yeah, I got the antenna topper. That's the receipt for that. Here's a couple of receipts from O'Reilly's. What do we got here? We got voltage regulator, which I'm not sure why I got more than a receipt for that, but I do. Alternator and the oil filter. I changed the oil on it, and wiper motor parts that I bought for it. I put the wiper motor on it. Here's, I don't know what this is. It says Mopar on it. Let's see what's inside. Oh wow, that's a Roadrunner Decal. See that? I think that goes on the hood, if I remember right. You guys probably know. I think that goes on the hood. I think that's why I bought that, because I bought that hood stripe kit, and then I bought this to go on the hood. But it is an actual NOS Mopar part. Look at that. So that's cool. Again, 1973 Chrysler Plymouth. This is their whole line of cars for '73. Surprisingly enough, they got, looks like the LeBaron and the New Yorker up front, and the Duster, the Challenger, the Roadrunner's all in the back, which they're way more popular. That's funny. I don't know. You guys know these cars more than I do, but you know, it's pretty cool. A brochure there. You can have that. Goes with the car. Okay. What else we got here? KC. Oh, this is the appraisal. Okay. Let's take a look at it. Pop it open here. And this guy that did this appraisal on this car, he used to be an engineer for GM at the Leeds plant in Kansas City, so he knows a lot about cars. Let's see if I can see what it says. So in 2000 and let's see if he says. Trying to find a date. Well, this was in January of 2013 when some of this paperwork came out, so I must have had him appraised as soon as I got it home. In 2013, it appraised at $20,000, basically $20,000. That was in 2013, and he did tell me. He said, you know, if you fix everything that's wrong with it, you know, all the little stuff that's going on with it, you fix all that, then it'll easily be worth $30,000 plus. Well, that was in 2013, okay. So I will tell you, the price that I'm asking for is around that price. So, you know, that was 10 years ago. It appraised for $20,000, and he said if you fix everything on it, it's worth $30,000. So I'm giving you all the parts for free with the price of the car. All you gotta do is do the work, and you're gonna have a car that's probably gonna be worth, you know, $40,000 or $50,000 by the time you're done. Here's the temporary tags that I got for it when I bought it in Omaha. That's a registration. You don't need that. It's got personal information on it. And here is the tags, the license plates that were on it when it was in the Mika Moxie in 2012. That's cool. Now here's the good stuff. All right. First, this folder comes with the car. So the first thing is, I'm going to pull out of here gently. This is the original bill of sale for when the car was sold new. Sold for $4,079.35, okay? And it even says 73 Roadrunner on there, VIN number. I've had people tell me, well, it's not a Roadrunner because it's 318 in it. Yeah, it is. It's a Roadrunner. And now here's the story I got to tell you guys. It was sold to a gentleman named Larry A. Shipe, and he lived in Little Rock, Kansas. So I had his information here, okay? So I got on the internet, and I did some research, and I looked up phone numbers and stuff, and I actually found a guy in Little Rock named Larry Shipe, okay? And I got his phone number. So I called him, and I said, hey, are you Larry Shipe? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, I got a question for you. It's going to sound kind of weird, but do you remember in the 1970s buying a Plymouth Roadrunner in about 73? In 1973, did you buy a Plymouth Roadrunner? And he thought for a minute. Well, I talked to him a little bit, and he told me, I think at the time he was like 83 or 84 years old. And he's like, he thought for a minute, you know, he had to probably think because he's an older guy, probably couldn't remember very well. But then he's like, you know what? He says, I do remember that car. I remember buying that car. I bought it new. And I said, well, I own it now. I don't know what the story is on it, but can you, I heard that it sat for a long time. Can you tell me the story? And here's what he told me. And it matches up with everything I've read to you guys, okay? He said, I bought the car new in 73. He said, I drove it for about a year, you know, a little longer than a year maybe. I bought, you know, it was a new car. I bought it for work, okay? I bought it as a work car. I just bought it to go back and forth to work. And in 74, sometime in 74, after I'd owned the car for about a year or so, I was in a serious accident at work. I got hurt really bad, and I was off work for a long time, and I was disabled, and I couldn't go back to work. So the car sat. It sat in my carport for about a year longer. So it sat in there till about 1975 or so, okay? And then I noticed the car was starting to deteriorate, and I was worried about it because it was a beautiful car. It was still, you know, basically brand new. I mean, I only drove it for a year. It only had a few thousand miles on it. So I decided to put it in a storage facility in Little Rock. I put it in a storage facility, and it sat there until the late 90s, I believe, 98 or 99. And that's when I sold it to a gentleman, and I don't remember the details of how the gentleman found out it was there. It may have been a family member or a friend of a family member or a friend of a friend of a friend. You know how that goes. I mean, I've had that happen to me before. But somebody told this guy in Iowa about this car, and he got a hold of Larry, and he went down and bought the car. So it had been sitting in this storage facility from 1975 until 1998 when it was sold. So it literally sat there for 24 years without moving. And when it was parked there, it only had a few thousand miles on it. So that goes to prove that what he was telling me was true. I mean, you look at the car, you look at how nice it is. You know this is a real story. And I was amazed that I was able to get a hold of the guy. Now, like I said, he was in his 80s, and this was 10 years ago. I don't know if he's still alive now, and if he is, I don't know if he'd remember the car. What's this? This is this is the guy, Slegworth Motorsports in Otter Creek, Iowa. It says on here on the back of this card, did the engine work on the Roadrunner. So he took it to an auto parts store, or an auto parts motorsports place, which is a hot rod place, and they did the motor work. So they, you know, I'm guessing they probably pulled the engine out and you know, refreshed it, maybe put higher compression pistons in it, and they definitely put a cam in it, and the intake manifold and all that, but I mean, it runs fantastic. So there's those two pieces of information. And again, I told you guys that I have the broadcast sheet for the car. Let me gently get it out of here. Here's the broadcast sheet for the car. I don't know how much of this you guys can see, but I'll kind of hold it here for a minute so you can take a look at it. So there's the broadcast sheet. You can see some of the numbers. You can always pause the video if you want to check the numbers, you know, verify anything on it. But this is the broadcast sheet that came out of the seat of the car. Probably the back seat, I assume, or I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where they put them at in the Mopars. In GM, they put them everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to gently put this back in the package here. All right, sorry, my camera stopped. You gotta love GoPros. I don't. I think they suck, but whatever. Okay, so we'll look at the rest of what we got here. I ain't got a lot left here, but here's the pictures that you'll see of the car when it was sold at the Beacom auction. Again, you can see it's got those Kragers on it. This was in 2012, so you know those wheels are 10 years old, and there's no stripes on the hood because it was painted. But there's the 3 pictures that were of the car when it was sold at Beacom auction. Okay, and this is the eBay ad of the car when I bought it. Just some information there. Talks about the car. Doesn't say a whole lot about it. It has the price on there. I'm probably going to mark that out. And then this is papers that people were like going around and probably putting at the Beacom auction. They were probably putting these, handing these out to people at the Beacom auction so they could go and look at the car when it's sold. There's a whole bunch of them there. And then here's one that's actually been laminated. That's kind of cool. So, you know, you can show that with the car if you want to show it. Okay. And last but not least, which I've already shown you, there's the what do they call that? The body tag. Shows all the numbers on the body. Yeah, you guys, you can look at the video and watch that. You don't need this, but this goes with the car, obviously. So anyhow, there's a whole, like I said, there's a whole big folder here full of stuff for the car. But you know, I hope what I've shown you and what I've read to you, told you that I know about the car, proves its originality to you. If it doesn't, then I'm sorry. But you know, I think I've got a lot of documentation here that proves, obviously, with the condition of the car, that it is an original 23,000 mile car, and you know, is what it is. So that's all that. Like I said, all this goes with the car, and I'll put it all with it. This stuff here, I don't really think that's what's this. This is something you guys want. Remember. Oh no, that's a set of wheels I bought for a totally different vehicle. Okay. All right. So that's the application for historic tags in Missouri. So okay. So again, there's everything I know about the car. I mean, this is kind of a long video, but you know, I want to show you what I have. I want to prove to you what I have. I'm not just making this all up. So you know, I've got documentation right here to prove it. And you know, you can look on Beacom's website. If you have an account on there, you can look it up and you can see that there's a 73. You can see this car. I've got it saved on my computer. Actually, I can bring it up on my computer. So it's on there. It probably shows the miles of the car when it was sold in 2012. You know, and that again proves that the car. You know what? Hold on a second here. Hold on a second. I think I've got. Oh, here we go. No. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Hold on a second. Dang it. Well, I thought I had. I thought I had an inspection sheet with the car for a state inspection, and because in the state of Missouri, when you do a state inspection, they always have to write the odometer reading down on the car to show the miles on it. I don't see it. I'm not saying I don't have it. I don't know if I do or not, but obviously I had the car inspected. When I bought it in January of 2013, I would have had to have had it inspected and licensed within 30 days because that's the law in Missouri. And dang it, you know, it might be still in the glove box. I don't know. But I could have sworn somewhere I had an inspection sheet on the car. It's usually stuck to the maybe it's in here. Oh no, this is actually This is stuff from when it was registered in Iowa. See if it says anything. Let's see, this registration is from 2008. Had the sticker for the license plate. I wish I had those license plates, but I don't. This is a guy named Tommy Lee Nisima in Maquata, I don't know, Iowa. So apparently he was the owner of the car. This Tommy Lee guy, he may have been the guy that hotlined it. I don't know. There's 2000. There's 2008, 2009, 2010. I didn't even see these. Here's a licensing fee from the same guy, 2007. So he bought the car in 2007. Looks like he had it until at least 2010. And so he's probably the guy. He may have traded it into the dealership for something else, and the other one that sold it to me from auction. I don't know. I mean, I can't say, but this you can have this stuff too. So this is more information on owners of the car. Like I said, I've tried to contact some of these guys. Was unsuccessful with that. I'm just trying to see if I have a registration. I should have an inspection sticker stuck to it. Well, I don't see it. Wait a minute. No, this is just a registration. This was, let's see here. Yeah, it just says I purchased it 1/15 of 13. I don't know what date this is. It's probably on there somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. But this is when I registered the car in 2013. So it shows what I paid for it. You guys can have that. I don't care. I don't live at that address anymore anyhow. And this purchase contract from when here we go. This purchase contract, Dave Wagner has my address, 73 Plymouth Roadrunner. There's the VIN number right here. It says 22,121 miles, and this was in 12/11 of 2012. So in 12/11 of 2012, it was showing 22,000 miles on the odometer. It's got 23,000 on it now. So I've literally put like 1,200 miles on it. That's all I put on it in 10 years. So I haven't driven the car. I mean, I want to keep the miles down. And this shows what I paid for the car, but you know what? I don't care. I know what I want for it now. They've increased in value. I've told other people I've talked to about the car. If it was a 1970 Roadrunner or a 69 Roadrunner or even a 71, I don't know what year they changed body styles on them, but if it was 2 or 3 years older than what it is now, it'd be double the price what I'm asking for it, because they've just gone crazy through the roof for, a car like this with 23,000 miles on it. If it was a 70 Plymouth Roadrunner, even if it was a 318 car, if it was all original, had 22,000 miles, it'd probably be a $100,000 car. Yeah, it's just crazy. I'm not asking anywhere near that, not even close. So, if you want to know, again, I'll put my email down. Contact me on Facebook, Wags Automotive or Dave Wagner. If you know how to do private messaging on YouTube, you can send me a private message and we'll talk about it. But I don't want to waste my time. I'm not going to waste time with people who are just tire kickers. If you're interested in buying the car, it's not going to be cheap. It's going to be a pretty high price. So I'll just say it's going to be north of 30,000. Let's put it that way. So if you can afford that and you got $100 bills, I'm not going to take checks. I'm not going to take money orders. I'm not going to take nothing from anybody except cash. So if you're interested in the car and you got the money, contact me. If you don't, please don't waste my time. I don't have the time to talk to you. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in this car. So that's the paperwork on the Roadrunner. Appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe to my channel. I got some cool stuff coming. And you'll have to see what it is. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.